Wrestling Federation, what the world is watching.
Hello and welcome everyone to Houston Wrestling Radio's first annual WrestleMania Preview Spectacular. This is Abel.
And this is Travis.
And thank you so much for tuning in, guys, whether you are on our website, HoustonWrestlingRadio.com, just streaming right off of there, or if you downloaded us off of iTunes, or if you're listening to us on the YouTube, thank you so much for tuning in today. Also, I would like for you guys to just take a little bit of time to go and check out our Facebook page and also check out our Twitter at HWrestling We've had a lot of activity this past week. After all, it is hashtag WrestleMania week. So I'm just so excited, and I'm excited about today's show. What we're going to do here is we're going to kind of switch it up a little bit. We're going to do things a little bit back-asswards.
The what?
What we're going to do is we're going to talk about, or we're going to throw out our plugs and some of the indie stuff and the things that are going around town first. Knock out a little bit of Impact talk and other indie talk first. Get that all out of the way so that we could get to the preview spectacular.
So basically we're going to knock out everything else that's not WrestleMania related.
Right. And then once we get to everything that is WrestleMania related, we have something very exciting. We have questions from our listeners off of Facebook and Twitter as it relates to WrestleMania. Also, when we talk about WrestleMania...
Wait. We do have listeners?
Yeah, it's a miracle.
Get out of here.
Who'd have thunk it?
Wow. Thanks, listeners.
Yes, thank you so much, listeners. And you guys that took the time to send us questions, well, you're going to be here on our show today with us. Also, when we get to talking about WrestleMania, we're going to go match by match and discuss what we think about those matches. And we're going to do two things here. Because most other shows and podcasts do where it's just predictions. And we're going to do that too. We're going to do predictions, but we're also going to talk about how much we anticipate a certain match and kind of maybe grade or scale our excitement level for each match.
Well, exciting's a interesting term that you used, but we'll see what we can do about that.
Well, I mean, some of them are going to be more exciting than others. Some of them we're anticipating more than others.
This is true.
That's why we're going to be grading it on a scale. So we're going to be doing that for the matches, talking about the build-ups and whatnot for themselves, and then, of course, doing the previews, getting to the listener questions. Oh, man, it's going to be a packed show. So let's go ahead and get on into it. Like I said, we're going to do this a little bit back-asswards. Let's start with my first cheap plug, Stoppage Time. We've mentioned this before. They are a podcast that covers the Houston Dynamo soccer team, or as they like to call it, football. It's our friend there. His name is Scott, but oh wait, right. We're not supposed to call him Scott. He's Hammer on the on their podcast. And I got a little bit more info from him on how to find him. What you have to do is go onto iTunes and search Stoppage Time with Hero and Hammer. There's other Stoppage Times on iTunes. The one that they are is the one with Hero and Hammer. And that's how you'll also search for them on Facebook. Stoppage Time with Hero and Hammer. Also, they do have a Twitter handle. It is at HNH Stoppage Time. All right. Next cheap plug we need to get to is the Wrestling Chronicle. We mentioned this a little bit last week that they finally named their podcast. They named it Pile Driver. So it's the Pile Driver podcast. You would find them on Twitter with the Twitter handle at Wrestling Chron, CHRON. And you can search that on iTunes. Also, you might want to go ahead and just type in Pile Driver Podcast since it's already named. They also finally got a co-host, and they got some new equipment, so it's going to be a little bit easier to listen to. And I did already take a listen to it. It was a good show. Good job, guys. All right, next one. We always need to plug our guys that do our guy that did our logo, Mean Aaron G. That's how you would find him on Twitter. That's his Twitter handle, Mean Aaron G. Check him out on Facebook. His page is Awesome AG Designs. So if you need any t-shirts, artwork, logos, what have you, that's how you find it. Also, Gnarled Order. These guys are the ones that do our music, not the WrestleMania music that we played there, but, they do our other music. And it's some pretty good stuff, and they also are going to have a concert on April the 26th. That's a Friday at 9 p.m. It's going to be at a place called Dean's, I believe, and it's at 316 Main Street in Houston, Texas.
316?
Yeah, 316. Yeah, there you go. The next thing that I need to get to is the new project that our friend Max from Wrestling with Subtitles is working on. He got hired on with the wrestling game, and he's been involved with for a long time. It's thewrestlinggame.com. You can also find it on Facebook / The Wrestling Game. Basically, it's an online video game that has been around since about like 2007, where you make these character profiles and whatnot, where you can have a little wrestler and play around with that. It's some cool stuff. Go check it out. Next up, we'll get into the shows that are going on around town. First one, this weekend on April the 6th, which is the day before WrestleMania, CWF, the Coastal Wrestling Federation, is going to be having a show at 7 p.m. at the National Guard Armory in Lamarck, Texas. The address there is 3006 Gulf Freeway. Go check that out. They're going to have Robbie E. from TNA. He's going to be taking on Ruthless Ryan Davidson. So that's pretty cool, seeing one of our ROW guys taking on, TNA guy. I think that'll be pretty neat. And also, Brooke Tessmacher will be there, fighting there too. She's taking on one of their ladies there. So go on down, check it out. After that, of course, we're going to have ROW, and that's going to be on the 13th, Saturday the 13th. Bell times at 7 at the Clear Lake Recreation Center. Today, it was that they posted their new YouTube episode. Mm-hmm. It was earlier today, right? Yeah. We posted it up on our Facebook page, so go check it out. And it was that was the one with the tag team match, right?
Yes. So go check out that episode just for that tag team match.
Yes.
Oh, and there's a pretty good championship match there too.
Yes, there is. So check that out. On to a couple of things that we did this weekend. We checked out Texas All-Star Wrestling.
Yeah.
And, it was a pretty good show. I liked that it was that it was outside. Yeah. Yeah, that was really interesting, especially since we had such nice weather. Yeah, I'd imagine that if it was storming and whatnot, it wouldn't have been as cool. But, it had some nice weather. It was outside. They had a nice little setup, and, they had a pretty good card. We saw a lot of, familiar faces there, and they all had really great matches. Rockstar Robbie, Ruthless Ryan, Gustavo, Kelly Kevin, he was a referee, actually, for, their ladies match. That was a pretty good match there, too. And then, of course, we got to see, DeMarco in action, and he defended his, Texas All-Star Wrestling Championship, and then we saw the Rumble itself. And, that was all really cool. It was a great night. Good job, guys, out there, from Texas All-Star Wrestling. All the new guys that we got to see out there, we weren't too familiar with any of them before. It's the first time seeing some of the TASW guys, the ones that are their homegrown talent. And it was pretty cool seeing them. I mean, they had a hardcore match there in between, and they got, pretty brutal.
And right in our face, too.
Yeah, so. Right in our face. And then, the fact that the Rumble itself, the Rumble match where they were throwing people over, there was no padding. That was right on the concrete.
That was patio concrete.
Yeah. So that was pretty hardcore. Those guys know how to boogie. I'm not sure if that was the right word.
No, it wasn't.
We'll just roll with that, right?
Okay, sure.
Yeah, we'll roll with that.
Yes, Abel, they know how to boogie.
Yes. Speaking of knowing how to boogie, we didn't get to this last week because we just had such a monster episode with DeMarco. And, by the way, DeMarco, thanks for coming on last week. I think it was a pretty good show. It was rather well received. We had a lot of positive feedback from that show.
Yeah, and they didn't get to hear the other 7 hours that DeMarco was talking to you.
Yes! And so we had to cut out some stuff. So this is one thing that I needed to get to last week that I just didn't get a chance to. 2 weekends ago, I went to the opening season bout of the Houston Roller Derby. And there's a little bit of crossover between roller derby fans and wrestling fans, I think. I thought it was pretty cool, the actual, roller derby thing itself. Of course, I was never really too familiar with roller derby. I didn't know much of the rules, but, there were some of the girls that were, when their team wasn't playing, they were out and about in the audience, and they would come and, tell us, the rules and stuff. So they, really let us know what was going on. And I just thought it was awesome. And, they have, funny names to go along with their number. Like, they have, like, these fake, almost like wrestling names, And I just thought it was pretty awesome. It's a really fun thing to go out and do and check out. So if there's, any people out there that are interested in checking out, roller derby, Houston Roller Derby is the place to go. Like, it's just a really good show, just all around show.
So basically, you popped your roller derby cherry.
I did.
Yeah.
Yes,
Did it feel good?
Yes, it felt great. They are going to have another match this month. Follow the Houston Roller Derby on Twitter. Their Twitter account is @Hugh HOU Roller Derby. And so check them out there, and they're always giving out their updates on when they're going to be having their matches. I think this week they're having tryouts for anybody that wants to join the roller derby team. Basically, the way that I got wind of this is that one of our followers, actually, she's probably been one of our followers since like the first couple of weeks that we started this, and she's always tweeting with us whenever Raw comes around. She told us about it, and that's Christine, but we're supposed to know her by her roller derby name, which is Shocker Zulu. And she plays for the Bayou City
Go by
Bosses.
that name instead. That's a much better name.
Yeah, that's
Jeez.
a much better name.
Change your legal name to that.
Shocker Zulu. She plays for the Bayou City Bosses, and we got to see her play this past weekend. So if you want to check...
Did they play like a boss?
Yes, they did.
Okay.
Yes, like a boss.
Yes.
I'm
sorry, people.
Check her out on Twitter. Her Twitter handle is @ShockZ314. Check her out and come on out to Houston Roller Derby someday. It was great fun. There, how about that? All right. One last thing before we get to all the WrestleMania and WWE talk. Impact. It was open fight night. If you've been listening to our show over the last couple of months, you know how I feel about open fight night. It leads to lazy TNA booking. Hey, how do we get this guy and this guy in a ring together? Oh, I don't know. Let's have open fight night. I hate open fight night. The last few weeks of TNA programming have been good. This week, I felt like it was kind of blah. It wasn't bad, it wasn't good. It felt like a filler, and it was like, whatever. So there's not really a whole lot to talk about there, and I'm willing to say only that and just move on. Yeah, I'm sure that this next week's show will probably be better anyway, but this past week's show is just so blah, vanilla, that since it is WrestleMania week, FTNA, let's just get right on into WrestleMania.
All right, FTNA.
FTNA for now. All right, WrestleMania week. Woo! Exciting stuff. Like I said, we were taking questions via Twitter and Facebook. And the first one that I want to get to, before we start talking about the actual WrestleMania itself, I want to talk a little bit about the Hall of Fame. And we did get a question from our friend, Max Zielinski, the guy who runs Wrestling with Subtitles. Thank you so much, Max, for sending in your question. Let me go ahead and read it off here right now. Max writes, why can't we have a full Hall of Fame show? Show everything for a set price. I love that stuff. Well, that's an interesting point that Max brings up there.
Is he talking about the viewing of Hall of Fame? Like, you pay for that? Like, part of the cost of the pay-per-view? Or is he talking about like when they show it on TV?
Well, I know that when they do show it on TV, it's like just like the last couple of ones,
the
right?
main ones.
Yeah, it's like the last hour, and it like from when I went to the Hall of Fame when it was here in Houston, the whole thing was like a 3-hour event.
Yeah.
And it's like, wow, they were going to put all of this on TV? And no, it's just an hour. So
and they cut the speeches too when they do it on TV.
Yeah, they cut everything. They edited down everything. And even when they released the DVD of WrestleMania, we included the Hall of Fame ceremony.
Well, it should be included.
Yeah, it should be included, but it's not. It's been edited. Everything was edited. Unless like this past years they didn't, because I haven't watched the Hall of Fame ceremony this past year.
I think it's all edited out.
Yeah, but the years before, like 24, 25, etc., they were all edited down. And what Max says there, I kind of trying to infer what he's trying to say. Maybe throw that up on pay-per-view and charge for that. There might be some people out there willing to actually pay for it.
Yeah, maybe like $10 or so, something like an iPay-per-view cost or something, nothing too elaborate on the cost, because you're about to spend however much for the pay-per-view.
Yeah, a bunch of money for the show itself. Yeah.
So.
But if there was ever a Hall of Fame to watch, it would probably be this year's Hall of Fame, because it's just a great lineup. Let's go over the lineup real quick and just kind of go through some things here. We're not going to spend too much time on it, but let's hit on this.
Okay.
We have Donald Trump. He's going to be in the celebrity wing.
Yay!
And what did we just find out today?
He's inducted by Vince McMahon.
Vince McMahon.
Yeah.
Vinnie Mac himself,
Mm-hmm.
huh? Wow.
Is that supposed to be the big reveal that they teased on Raw?
I don't know. Maybe.
And it's got leaked early? I don't know. But
I don't know. Well, we saw it up on the webs today.
But that was kind of expected. I was even telling you, I thought that's who was going to induct him.
Yeah, I mean, who else would it be?
Yeah, nobody else. I mean, it wouldn't make any sense for anybody else. Speaking of not making sense as an inductor.
Well, we have Bob Backlund.
Okay.
And who's going to induct him? Maria Menounos.
Oh, of course. Oh, wait, what?
What? Who? What? What?
What the what?
What? Yeah. WTF. There you go.
Exactly.
WTF moment of the week.
Yes.
Supposedly Maria Menounos is friends with Bob Backlund? WTF? Like, how are
Just
they
on,
friends?
Just on that level right there. Just WTF.
Yeah, they're friends. What? Okay. How did they become friends? That's really interesting.
But it's kind of sad because, I was thinking for a second, one person that might make sense to induct him would be Bret Hart.
Yes, Bret Hart inducting Bob Backlund. That would work. Because they had such a great feud.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
That's what got him into the new generation.
Yes.
Was his feud with Bret Hart, And I think Bret Hart helped made him.
Yeah.
For that little comeback that he did. But,
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, what else we got?
We have Foley. And now this one doesn't make sense.
Yes.
Terry Funk.
Absolutely.
Terry Funk inducting Foley.
No question. That's who it should be.
That, I think that fits. Oh, we're getting rain now.
Oh, yeah.
Ooh.
Ominous.
You talk about Terry Funk and Mick Foley, and all of a sudden there's thunder, lightning.
The heavens fall.
Yes. Anyway, I think this fits like a glove more so than Vince and Trump. I think that,
yeah, absolutely.
That's really just gold.
Yeah, Cactus Jack and Chainsaw Charlie, absolutely.
Yeah, of course. All right.
Some people might say death matches from Japan and all this other stuff, but nah. Let's go WWE style.
Yes. All right. We also have Booker T. At least I did. I'm sure you did. Maybe you didn't. I marked out really hard, for Booker T being inducted to the Hall of Fame.
Dude, you mark out for everything.
Oh, shut up.
So you just marked out right there.
No, I did. That wasn't a mark out. Anyway, Booker T. Great Hall of Fame inductee. I think he deserves it. I'm glad he's going in. That's going to do great stuff for the local indie scene here in Houston. Mm-hmm. I think that's a great thing. But we've yet to see who's going to induct him.
Yeah, very conspicuous by any announcements from his inductee, or whatever.
Yeah.
Who do you got any thoughts on who might be inducting him?
Well, we kind of joked about this when it was first announced. We said that on the podcast, and we're like, well, maybe Stevie Ray. I can't really think of who else. I mean, I think you said Goldust?
I was saying Goldust, but... Or maybe even Stone Cold. Why not?
Yeah.
There was the thing on the website they were doing where they're voting on what name he should be inducted under.
Booker T.
Yeah, exactly. I don't even know if I'm hoping they were joking on that, because leave it to the WWE universe to vote on that. They're gonna fuck everything up.
Yeah.
But you have choices of Booker T, G.I. Bro, King
Booker.
Booker. One of the choices is five-time.
Yeah.
That's an actual choice to name him as what they're gonna call him.
Yeah, that's ridiculous.
That's redonkulous.
Yes. They need to induct him as Booker T.
Yes. Don't even joke about that. I don't even know why that even was an option.
Do you think that we don't know who is inducting him because WWE doesn't know yet, or because it's a secret and it's going to be like a big ass thing?
How big of a secret could it be? It's not like...
Well, if it is Stone Cold, that's kind of a big surprise.
But you wouldn't wait till the last minute.
Yeah, then again, this is a Hall of Fame ceremony. Why would you have big surprises?
Yeah, you won't. They have to announce that stuff early, to...
Yeah, because this is supposed to be a black tie thing.
Right,
it's not to pop the audience. It's not like, big surprises. It's a very respectable...
It's not supposed to be about... Yeah, it's not about the inductors. It's about the inductees.
Yeah.
And, you just said that. It's black, it's not supposed to make the audience pop or whatever like that, That's what I'm saying. I like the old style, and that probably doesn't surprise you, but the old style Hall of Fames, where it was just, it's just a group and they're in front of their peers. Except in the Hall of Fame. That's what I like, but that's...
So you're saying you wouldn't want to, as Max was asking, pay extra money to watch the Hall of Fame ceremony?
If it was like that, I would.
You would?
Yeah. But to pay for it, no more than $10, and they would have to lower the price of the WrestleMania pay-per-view too.
I think you're asking for too much there.
I know.
But let's not get too ahead of ourselves there, because we actually have a question about that. But we'll get to that when we get to that. Trish Stratus getting inducted by Stephanie McMahon.
Not sure I know about that one, but whatever.
When I think of Attitude Era, powerful WWE divas, Trish Stratus and Stephanie McMahon both kind of come to mind. And Stephanie McMahon... Not so much as like an in-ring diva. I mean, she has all the power, so to speak, but not like physical power, you know what I mean? Like, she has all this backstage power. She was always part of these storylines. She was a big character there. So, during that era. So, I don't mind it.
Okay. I'll have to disrespect your opinion on that one.
Okay. Well, who would you rather see? Lita?
No, not Lita.
Okay, well, who would you rather have?
That's the problem. I don't know. It's because Trish was never really associated with anybody bringing her in or anything like that. So, or mentoring her, unless you want to do like Finlay or something, but because he trained her.
Yeah.
But other than that, I don't know. I guess Stephanie's just as good of a choice as any.
Okay.
Next,
Bruno Sammartino.
Getting
inducted.
The headliner, the main event.
Yes. Getting inducted by Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Yeah.
Arnold. That's my best.
That was pretty good. That was
Good
Yeah.
enough?
Yeah.
Okay.
Sure, why not? I think they have that connection with Arnold. He does his little annual fitness thing, jiggy or whatever he does, and I think Bruno's
the Arnold Classic.
That's it, yeah. And Bruno, he always does that. He participates in that too. So
yeah, okay. I think it would be a good Hall of Fame. I would like to see it. I wouldn't mind paying an extra $10 to watch it, or once I come around to buying the DVD or the Blu-ray, I would like for the entire Hall of Fame ceremony to be on there and unedited.
Well, I mean, it's not going to be unedited. I mean, there's going to be edited parts. I mean, you don't want the whole freaking thing.
Maybe you do want the whole freaking thing.
Yeah, okay, sure, whatever. Okay, so, there was, like 7 or 8 years ago, they did it on Saturday night as they were doing it. They were posting it up on WWE's website for like a limited time.
Really?
I don't know why they couldn't do that again.
Maybe they are, and we just don't know about it. We missed it. Yeah.
I don't know. I think it was the year that, Sherry got inducted.
Was it?
I think so.
Okay. I think that was a couple of years ago.
No, it was longer than that.
Really?
Yeah.
Whatever. Well, okay.
Is that it?
That's it. That's all from the Hall of Fame.
Okay.
Max, thank you so much for your question.
Okay.
Let's move on. We hit on this a little bit here, and let's go ahead and get on into it. This is a question from Facebook from Cody Young. Cody says, do you guys think that with the $5 price increase and with the part-timers they got for WrestleMania, that they will see a big profit increase? Or do you think with the lack of build and the price increase that it will get less buys than previous WrestleManias? Well, thank you so much for your question, Cody. Let's break this down.
Yeah, there's a couple things in there we can on.
Yeah. There's two things in there.
Yeah.
First off, the price increase. Second off, the part-timers. And you mentioned in there, money, whether or not they'll make more money, but then you also mentioned whether or not they'll have more buys. And I think, yes, they're going to make more money with the $5 price increase. I heard it, and I wish I could tell you the source of this, but I just simply can't remember. I think it was another podcast. Since the price increase up to the day that the podcast was, I think I listened to it a few days ago, and again, I can't remember who the hell it was. I'm sorry. They had said that as far as orders go, the pre-orders that they already have, WWE has already made $900,000 more this year with the price increase than they had at the same time last year. Okay. Which is, a week or so before the actual pay-per-view. So I think with the price increase, I don't think that's going to discourage a lot of people from buying it.
It won't.
And it definitely won't offset the amount of people that it would.
Now,
and they'll still make more money.
Right. Now, me personally, it's affected me.
Right.
I normally I used to buy a lot more pay-per-views, but now I buy two. WrestleMania and Royal Rumble. This year, I may not buy WrestleMania.
Okay.
I'm probably just,
You're still gonna watch it.
yeah, absolutely. I'm gonna watch it.
You're just gonna find somewhere else to watch it at.
Right, yeah, either at a friend's house or, maybe at a bar or something, whatever, or have some friends over, I'll chip in and pay for it.
And that's the strategy that I'm going with, and I've always gone with is, meeting up with other friends, watching it together, at their place, and we all, either pitch in for food or we split the cost of the pay-per-view itself. And that's how I've always done it.
Yeah.
So
with it being more pricier this year, whatever way I can get out of paying for it,
yeah,
I'm probably going to do that. So that's affected me as far as the price increase. So yes, that does.
Yeah.
That's a yes for me.
Okay. For me, it's a no as far as affecting me personally, because like I said, I'm going watching it at somebody else's house.
Well, you're a
which
leecher.
I always do.
Yeah.
What'd you say?
So you're just a leecher anyway. So you just
I'm Mexican.
yeah.
Now that's as far as money goes.
Right.
WWE still making as much money. As far as buys go, I don't know if it would be that cut and dry to say that a $5 increase equals less buys. But there's a second part to that question that Cody proposed, which is the part-timers.
Mm-hmm.
Honestly, I think the part-timers bring more buys. And it's not necessarily from us, from the IWC, from longtime wrestling fans. It gets more buys from the casual wrestling fans, or the people that used to be wrestling fans. Oh, The Rock's on? Well, let me check that out. Well, I'm not really into wrestling anymore, but I really like Jericho. Jericho's gonna be on Mania? Oh, let me check that out. Like those type of people, that's where they're reaching towards. So I think they're still gonna get just as many buys, if not more buys.
Yeah, and that's we can go on a whole, diatribe about the fact that there's no main event wrestlers on the current roster right now. And that's why they're bringing all these part-timers, if you want to be honest about it, other than John Cena, who's a name draw.
Mm-hmm.
And that was, I remember thinking about that last year, even the year before that maybe. It's like, well, without Undertaker coming back,
yeah,
and, it seems like every year they always have returns of like, Shawn Michaels, Triple H, we always have these bigger names that kind of make up for the lack of talent. But now this year there's so many part-timers or old name wrestlers. Old name wrestlers coming back,
Yeah.
What I mean?
Well, I think that it's kind of like WWE has to.
Right. Because they haven't built up any big stars.
Right. Well, partially because of that, and then partially because it's the biggest show of the year, so you want to draw more people and put more eyeballs on the thing, and, you want to have more eyeballs than they're at WrestleMania, than Royal Rumble, at SummerSlam.
Right.
And that's when you have just your regular roster. And even if your regular roster is giving 100%, you only get X amount of buys for those big time pay-per-views, your SummerSlams and your Survivor Series of the world. Just so that you get that extra bump, that extra increase, you need to bring on some part-timers. But I do think maybe they kind of overdid it this year. But then again, that's the IWC mark in me. And I've said this, before on the podcast.
There's a mark in you?
Yes, there's a mark in me. I've said this before.
Get him out.
Shut up. I said this before on the podcast that I think WWE knows that they have, your kid fans, your casual fans, and your IWC Smart Mark fans, and they work all of us. So I think they know what they're doing when it comes to that, and I think, we're going to be worked too. So they're going to give us a little something. For example, jumping ahead of ourselves, Punk and Taker. That's for us. That's for us IWC Smart Marky fans. That's for us. Rock and Cena ain't for us. They know it because we whine and bitch and moan on Twitter and Facebook. They know what our opinion is. So they throw us a bone. They give us something to be entertained with,
That's so cute you think that.
Well, I do think it, but whatever. If you want to disagree, disagree. You want to think that you're not getting worked? Okay, think you're not getting worked. Freaking Mark.
Anyway, moving on to the next topic at hand.
Moving on, we have another question here that I want to address because we're probably going to be talking about this throughout the whole night. So this comes from another one on Facebook, Julio de Aguila. Let me bring up what he what he said.
I've already forwarded his name to Zeb Coulter.
You're so bad, dude. All right. Julio asks, this WrestleMania feels very predictable. If WWE decides to go with some twists to make it awesome, what do you think these twists would be? Well, Julio, that is an awesome question. And we are going to be hitting on that probably all effing night long. That is not a short answer that we could give you. Once we get to all the matches on the card, there's going to be several little twists here and there that could probably happen that can make this WrestleMania awesome. Has it been a little predictable? Yes, it has.
A little.
It has. Yeah, okay. A little, a lot, whatever. It's been predictable. Yeah. Okay. But there are opportunities where there can be twists where, you know what? All that predictability will be forgiven because, oh wow, it was just so freaking awesome. So you know what? Julio, keep your ears open as we're going through all of our matches here. We'll get to answering your question throughout the whole night. Thanks, man. Thanks for asking us that question.
And try to put up with Abel. I'm sorry in advance.
We have a few more questions here, but we're going to get to them because some of them were feud specific.
Okay.
And once we get to those certain feuds, we'll bring them up. All right. Let's start off by talking about the actual matches on the card for WrestleMania 29.
I hope we start with that. Yeah.
Are you ready?
Yeah.
Yes. Okay. Let's get on into it here. I'm excited.
You did it. You just got a little jolt of energy.
I did. I got a little giddy. It's like, oh, we're going to talk about WrestleMania. Yay. All right. Yeah, I was waiting for you to say that. Yeah, I'm a mark. So what? Okay. I kind of want to start with the least important matches first, and then move and build on up to the bigger matches, the more important ones, the main events and whatnot. Okay. I guess the least important match, which this is sad that this is the least important match, is The Miz versus Wade Barrett. It's good.
You see what Miz has done to the Intercontinental title?
Yes.
You can't see. Hi, you admit it. Yeah. So,
well, hold on. Before we get into the whole spiel about this, I need to bring this up. This is another question that we had. It was posted to us on Facebook by Shining Wizards off of their own Facebook account, which is, Shining Wizards. You can find them on there. But they also have, and we need to, throw out this plug, at Wizards Podcast on Twitter. Check them out. They plug our show. We listen to their show. We plug them.
They don't just plug our show, man. They make commercials for us, man.
They do. These guys are friggin' awesome.
Yeah, we need to be, they need to do commercials for us, and maybe we need to do commercial for them.
Yeah,
I don't know how we do that, but
maybe you just play a little song and say some goofy shit.
Yeah, it's too much work, man. There's got to be something else we can do.
Well, right now they're just gonna have to settle for this. Go listen to Wizards Podcast. They have an awesome show. Follow them on Twitter. Like them on Facebook. Do it now. Ooh. Okay, how about that?
Yeah.
Is that good?
Good enough.
Okay.
Yeah.
There you go. This is the question. You're welcome. This is a question that the Shining Wizards posed to us on Facebook. And let me read it off here. Does it bother you guys that the IC title match is on the pre-show?
Yes.
And that the US title isn't being defended at all on the show?
Yes.
Oh, and how do you feel about Diddy performing?
No.
Well, that was some easy answers right there. Let's elaborate. Travis, what were you going to say before I stopped you there when we were getting into this pre-show stuff with Miz and Wade Barrett?
Just the fact that I'm blaming Miz. The fact that it's on the pre-show.
What do you got against the Miz, man?
It's the Miz! Is there anything else I have to say?
Listeners, am I the only one that actually likes the Miz?
I'm going to answer for the listeners. Yes. Listen.
Okay. Go ahead.
I think I told you this earlier. WWE, they booked the IC title match on WrestleMania, and then they realized, oh, wait a minute, they've made a mistake. It's the IC title. They can't be defended on WrestleMania. Let's gotta move it somewhere else. You can't just take away the match, so let's just put it on the pre-show. It's like a tradition now, not to defend the title at the pay-per-view.
Well, and that's the IC title.
Yeah.
Let's look at how far the US title.
And before people, I know there's been a few occasions in the last few years it actually has been defended, but for the most part, it's usually in Money in the Bank matches or something where the champ's there, but it's not being defended.
Yes.
So I'm catching myself now.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't think there's been a one-on-one IC title match in a long effing time at Mania. And that's a shame. And the fact that it's going to be defended on the pre-show, okay, that's not as bad as the US title not even on the effing show. Yeah. Not only is the title not being defended on the show, the guy that holds the title isn't on the show, isn't even on the pre-show. WTF.
He's too busy yodeling now?
Oh, yeah, okay. What the hell is up with Cesaro yodeling? It's so bad.
I'm blaming Swagger.
Yeah, we can blame Swagger. You're right.
I seriously am. Ever since he came back, they killed Cesaro's character 100%.
Yeah, it's like, oh, let's take the gimmick off of you and put it on Swagger. Yeah. And just build it.
For like a week or two after they killed his gimmick, he was going back to the speaking 5 languages.
Yeah.
And they stopped that, and now he's yodeling?
Yeah, someone in creative thought, oh, you know, it'd be funny if
he's from Switzerland.
Yeah, we'll have him yodel. And like, you could tell, like, he's not that great of a yodeler. Like, I'm no yodel expert, okay? But the yodeling he does doesn't sound very yodel-ish at all. I mean, that's like trying to get... I understand, he's from Switzerland, whatever. But just because you're from Switzerland doesn't mean you know how to yodel. Like, I don't know how to make tortillas.
Yeah, you do.
No, I don't. I don't know how to make tortillas.
Abel's being modest, folks.
Oh. Yes, he's tasted my tortillas, and they're awesome. No, but do you understand? You understand what I mean?
The other show.
You understand what I mean?
You mean that WWE might be stereotyping the fact that he's from Switzerland?
And they're giving him something that, okay, if the stereotype with the guy was true, like if he really was a great yodeler, well, okay. And if I could really make great tortillas, I wouldn't be...
But you can.
I can't. But if I could, hell, I'd be making tortillas and selling them and making money doing that. Like, but I don't. I'm not that kind of guy. So I don't see why they're trying to force this on him, because it just doesn't work.
Yeah.
And it's sad. And what was the third part of that question? Diddy performing at Mania? I have not been a fan of anybody doing performances at Mania if they aren't doing somebody's entrance music or playing somebody in. Yeah. Like Motorhead doing Triple H's entrance, great. Limp Bizkit doing Undertaker's entrance. Well, I wouldn't say that's great, but it's okay. It's good enough.
It was fitting for him.
It was fitting for him at the time, yes. But just having some random person come out and just do a song like just for the sake of it.
Was it Flo Rida or whatever from
yeah,
last year?
I think it was Flo Rida. Well, but Machine Gun Kelly did John Cena's entrance, so that's kind of forgivable. But Flo Rida, come on, you're just taking up time where we could have...
You remember the guy's name that did John Cena's entrance?
I do.
Fucking Mark.
But it's just taking up time where you could have had...
Sorry, Mom, I had to say that. So.
It's just taking up time where Cesaro could have been on the card. Or where, you know, anybody else could have had a match that's not on the card. It could have stuck something else in there. For example, the Divas title that was supposed to happen between AJ and Caitlyn that we never got. That's not on...
That's not even
the card.
That's not even a title that our listener wanted to ask about why it's not being defended.
Yeah.
Because he knows.
He knows, yeah. That's not, yeah.
Although I was surprised that wasn't added in as like a last minute filler match.
Yeah. Okay. All that being said.
I will say for...
okay, go ahead.
Well, I was going to save this for when we talk about the match, but as far as musical performances, I'm not going to be surprised if I see Del Rio come out to a mariachi band.
And I don't mind it, because that's part of his gimmick, and they're playing him out.
You think?
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, literally, like, they're playing it, like, to the T. I mean, what he is.
Yeah.
Over the top.
Yeah, but I mean, if a mariachi band came out and just played and that's it, not played for his entrance, that'd be stupid.
Well, yeah, that wouldn't make any sense at all.
Okay. Let's go ahead and get back to just the actual match itself and what we were going to talk about. How much do you anticipate Miz versus Wade Barrett?
I don't.
Not at all.
No.
You don't want to see it.
I've already seen them fight. They've already had a feud. I don't care. It's WWE didn't put enough stock in them to actually put them on the card. Why should I give a shit?
Okay. I would say that I have a slightly little bit more interest in it, and I am anticipating it a little bit. On a scale of 1 to 10, 10 being like really excited for it, 1 being nothing, it's probably at like maybe a 5.
Really?
Like, yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
God, you're a mark. Jeez.
And I think it's because it is the IC title, and it is Barrett, and it is The Miz, and I like both guys, but other than that, there hasn't been enough build-up to make me care anymore. And, you know, I don't
5
know.
out of 10. Really? Wow.
That's about halfway. That means I just like halfway give a fuck.
I'm giving that half of a 1. I'm giving it 0.5.
Really?
Yeah.
Like, you just don't care at all.
I do not give a shit about that match at all.
Wow. Okay. Well, there we go. Do you give a shit enough to give a prediction? Because that's what we said we were going to do. We were going to say how much we anticipate it and what's our prediction.
Prediction? Miz wins.
Miz wins?
He takes his head off from him, but I don't care. I do not care. That'll make me care even less if Miz wins.
Okay. I think the Miz will win because Barrett's done nothing with it. And why the hell not give another win to the Miz and just put a title on the Miz and just kind of...
He has 1 million followers.
Yeah, exactly. And, you know, just throw some spaghetti against the wall and just see what sticks. You know? I wouldn't be surprised if they did that.
Okay.
So, oh my god, there's already a title change and the show hasn't even started.
Yeah.
You know, like that type of crap.
You know, and did you catch the fact that they changed the pre-show from 30 minutes to 1 hour?
I did catch that. Does this mean this is going to be an hour-long match?
No.
Okay.
It's gonna be a 10-minute match with 50 minutes of recaps.
Yeah.
To get people to buy.
Right.
Although they could fit another match, I don't know, for the US title on there.
Yeah. What the hell? Or for the Divas title?
No,
of course not. Okay.
Save it for Raw.
Shining Wizards, thank you so much for your question. Like I said, listeners, check out their show. They got a really great show, and they got a bunch of stuff going on this week at hashtag WrestleMania week. I can't even say it. They have stuff going on where they have a little WrestleCon where they have John Morrison that's signing autographs with them, so go visit them at their booth. I mean,
cool.
Nobody here in Houston will be able to, you know, run on up there tonight, but if you're listening and you're in the Jersey area or the New York, New Jersey / MetLife Stadium,
why are you listening to us?
Wherever that is. Yeah. No, they're supposed to listen to us. Everybody can listen to us. It's the internet. Worldwide. www. World Wide Web. Yeah. Anyway.
Get to the bottom of that one.
Anyway, check them out. Check out their show. Thank you so much for submitting your question, guys. Whew. Okay, let's move on to what would probably be another match that probably isn't all that important.
We're doing a wonderful job of building up WrestleMania.
I mean, we said we were going to start with the bottom and move up. Let's go with Tons of Funk and the Funkadactyls versus Rhodes Scholars and the Bellas. I kind of like the fact that we got a name for this team, Tons of Funk. And I kind of like the fact that they're letting the Funkadactyls kind of show, you know, what they could do and, you know, actually have matches and do stuff and whatnot. And I like the fact that the Bellas are back. And I've always liked Team Rhodes Scholars. So I think this match, I'm even though it's not all that important, it's probably really low on the card. I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, I think that it's going to be booked as a filler match between two big matches.
Probably so.
But these last couple shows on TV, I've actually been kind of digging the Funkadactyls versus the Bellas.
Yes.
There's...
And we all know how much Travis loves the Bellas.
Yeah. Anyway, but yeah, it's gonna be, I think, it was better matches than I was expecting between them. Especially because we don't, you know, Bellas have been out for a while and we haven't really seen the Funkadactyls other than,
Naomi,
you know. I didn't know about the other chick if she could wrestle or not, but apparently she can.
Yeah. I think they've both done a pretty good job in the ring, and I think the Bellas have done, you know, a decent
There's
job
a crispness to their matches, you know.
Mm-hmm.
There's no botches. No, they're not.
Well, there's been a few here and there.
But nothing to, like, detracts from the match.
Right. And then, I mean, you throw the fact that Cody and Sandow are going to be in there. I freaking love Cody. I love Sandow. And,
did you notice they were wearing each other's shirts?
Yes, that was so cute. Oh, they were wearing each other's shirts.
Yeah.
Aw.
Hey, did you notice that, Sweet Tea.
Sweet Tea.
He's a better dancer than, Brodus Clay.
Yes, I did. I did notice that.
And now Brodus has to, like, do you notice he has to look at Tensai to see, like...
He has to follow his lead?
Yeah. We knew he's a shitty dancer before, but now it's like, okay, it's blatant. And now, I don't know if they're, like, doing it blatantly now, like, making it, like, really bad, and so they're really out of sync on purpose, just to say, okay, we don't know what we're doing.
Yeah. I don't know. And maybe they are doing that on purpose to just kind of play up the goofiness of it.
Or to make, Fandango mad.
Right, yeah. Make Fandango the good dancer.
Fandango.
Yeah. before we move on to Fandango, let's go ahead and say, what is our anticipation level for this match?
3 or 4 out of 10, I guess.
Really, that low?
Yeah.
My anticipation level for this match is a little bit higher.
Probably 9 or 10.
No, I'd say a 6. I'd say a 6.
That's still lower than I thought you were going to say.
Really? Oh, okay.
I was expecting at least an 8 from you.
Really?
Yeah.
Not that high.
You love Tons of Funk.
I do love Tons of Funk.
And you love Road Scholar.
I do.
So.
You know what? You talked me into it. Why not? 7.5. You talked me into it. 7.5.
That's what
you
I
just
do.
put that thing over for me in my heart.
I am a seller.
I'm okay. 7.5. I'm really looking forward to this. Just because of the people involved. Not necessarily because of the way that they've built this up. Because it feels like it's just been smashed together here in the last week.
Well, not really. Ever since
really.
the Bellas came back, they've been... With the first week back, they were bumped into the Funkadactyls backstage, and they had a little fight in the backstage.
And ever since they've been back, they've bumped into the Road Scholars and the Funkadactyls.
No, it's made sense. The feud made sense.
You know what? I guess you're right. I guess they have done a pretty good job.
8.5 out of 10.
8.5! No, I'm still leaving it at 7.5. Okay. So I'm anticipating that one. Predictions.
It's a fun filler match. I'm gonna say the faces are gonna win on this one.
Okay.
Yeah.
I think depending on where it is in the card, it would depend who they follow. Like if they follow a match that's a big time match where the heel went over, then the faces win. If they follow a match that's a big time match where the face went over, the heels will win. Yeah. So it's kind of hard to predict, but you know what? I want to see Tons of Funk win. Let's go with Tons of Funk.
I know you would.
There you go. All right. Let's move on. Moving up on importance here. Fandango.
I feel dirty when people say that.
Ooh. Feels so good.
Fandango.
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 That Fandango guy. We're from Texas.
Fandango ate my baby.
Fandango versus Y2J Chris Jericho. This is Fandango's debut match at WrestleMania. So far from what we've seen, there's a little bit of interestingness to it, I think. But then again, it's a debut match for a guy at Mania, so there's a little bit of a problem there. I have a little bit of a problem with that. But I don't know, Trav, what do you think?
The only thing that's going to save this match is Jericho.
Really?
I think so.
I'm going to disagree with you. I think the actual in-ring competing in the match itself would be good because of, well, one, Jericho and Fandango. Because I kind of looked up some of his stuff that he did in NXT as Johnny Curtis, and you know what? The guy could go. He's a pretty good. Yeah, he's a pretty good in-ring performer, I think. So I think they'll have... You actually,
YouTube search Johnny Curtis?
Yeah.
Really?
I looked it up. Because I was preparing for our show, Travis, where we have a responsibility to our listeners.
That was funny. Okay, so what do you think is going to happen in this match?
Well, you didn't let me finish what my point was.
You're not done yet?
My point was, I think they're going to have a good match, but everything else that is around the match, I don't know. It just rubs me the wrong way that he's debuting. I don't know about the storyline, how it's just kind of thrown together. I like the gimmick that both of the guys have. I like the goofy shit. I do. So I kind of like Fandango. So that's all I was going to say, but I don't know what's going to happen. I would like to think that Jericho might, win one at Mania, but at the same time, I can understand why Jericho now is all about putting other guys over, and that's very commendable.
Well, you don't have to put someone over by losing to him.
That's true. You could just make them look like $1 million and still lose.
Yeah.
You could come out of a match losing and still look great.
Yeah. They're gonna have spectacular entrances.
I think so too.
I can guarantee it.
I want to see what Fandango's entrance is going to be like.
He has just elaborate entrances just on regular shows.
On Raw, where he doesn't wrestle.
Yeah. Which, this is the one thing that I'm going to say, I'll give this a 5 out of 10 as far as expectations, or whatever exciting.
How much you anticipate.
Yeah. And that's because I understand, I guess, WWE not having him wrestle to maybe have the mystery of him wrestling in the ring
Like, you want to see what
I
he
guess,
could do?
but no, that's had the opposite effect on me. It's like,
Really?
what can he do? I don't know. He does a leg drop off the top rope.
Yeah, but have you seen the leg drop? Like, it's so good.
I'm not a big fan of leg drops, so.
Okay.
That's just me. I mean,
I could see where the athleticism comes in. You know, with him jumping, hopping over the top rope, you know, doing the leg drop. I can see where there's glimmers of, oh wow, this guy has a lot of agility and he could probably do a lot of good stuff in the ring. That's why I would think that, you know,
yeah, I think I can see him having enough talent to where Jericho can work with him.
Yeah.
And pull out a good match.
Yeah.
Because Jericho, he's been on a roll since he's been back.
Mm-hmm.
Although I will say, speaking of entrances and these guys and everything, ever since Jericho's been back, his entrance has been off a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, I know this is nitpicking, but it's just bugging the shit out of me.
Okay.
Because, you know, before he left, he had, you know, the lights would, you know, all the lights would go down.
Yeah.
And then boom, you know, his music would come on and Jericho's name would come on. And he would come out with the pose.
Then the light bright jacket.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now it's like, it's not timed right, you know? I mean,
like, it's just fireworks, light bright jacket, and that's it.
Yeah, it's like his
it's
music,
all bam, bam, bam.
His music starts with the fireworks and everything, and then like the entrance is blank, and then he kind of walks out. Then he does the jacket. It's not in sequence.
Okay.
That bugs me.
Okay.
I don't know why. It just does.
No, that bugged me a long time too for Kane. They did that with Kane at one point in time, and it bugged the crap out of me. Before we move on to Kane, what are our predictions for this match?
That's a good one. I'm gonna say Y2J.
You think Y2J will finally get a win at Mania?
Has he not won at Mania?
Not over the last couple of years.
Maybe. I mean, sure. Yeah, Y2J. Yeah.
Okay, I want to say that Y2J is going to finally get a win at Mania, but I don't think so. Why are you going to go through all the trouble of making this character and having him debut at Mania and have him have a feud with the top guy that's been known to put people over to just lose?
Because he's got a silly gimmick.
Okay, well, I'm going to disagree. I think WWE and Vince is all hard up on this character, and they're going to pull the trigger, and they're going to say Fandango will get the win.
Okay.
All right, that's my prediction.
All
right, so let's move on. You know what? I didn't say what my anticipation level for this match was. I'll say, what did you say? Like a 5?
5.
Yeah. I think I want to say that I anticipate this one just about as much as I anticipate Tons of Funk and the Rhodes Scholars and all that. 7.5.
You mean 8.5?
No. I was just kidding when I said that I bumped it up to 8. So
I'm not kidding. I'm not kidding for you. That's what you're going to say. 8.5.
No, 7.5. Shut up. All right. Let's move on. We mentioned Kane there, so let's talk about Hell No. Wow, already. Let's talk about Hell No versus Big E and Ziggy for the tag team championships.
Well, Big E's such a fantastic wrestler that I'm just gonna say, did you catch his last match he was in?
No, I didn't.
Oh, you didn't? Well, man. He's a pretty good wrestler. You know what? I'm gonna ask a question about him.
Okay.
Why does he just change his gear into just trunks instead of the singlet? He just takes off at the drop of the hat.
He does.
Just one move and, I gotta take these off. You know, these are my way.
They're in the way.
My boobies.
Yes. He's gotta let them breathe.
Yeah. It's like a sports bra or something.
He's gotta let the triple D's breathe. Fandango's gotta let his A's breathe.
Right.
But, Big E's gotta let his triple Big E's breathe.
And even then, AJ's still jealous.
Yes.
So we have, Hell No versus, Ziggy and Biggie.
Ziggy and Biggie. Slap that on the back of a t-shirt. Ziggy and Biggie.
Flat out, I'm gonna say Biggie and Ziggy are gonna win.
What?
Yeah.
Really?
And, I'm gonna say that AJ is gonna cost the match for Hell No. She cost him the match last year. She's gonna cost him another match
this year.
Yeah. It's just crazy enough it might work.
You know what? You're right. Yes. Okay.
And Hell No might implode anyways. Who knows?
Okay. I kind of wanted to see Hell No implode and see them actually have a match at Mania and all that jazz. Now that, it's Hell No versus Ziggler and Big E, and it was just kind of thrown together, and it feels like it was all just thrown together so that Ziggler had something to do. so that it could cover up the fact that he might cash in at Mania. Like, I'm really not into this match at all. I like Daniel Bryan, I like Kane, I like Ziggler, who knows with Big E, but I just have too many problems with this match to really care. I care less about this match than I do the other matches that we were talking about. In fact, I want to give this one maybe like a 4 on my anticipation.
Get out of here.
I'm dead serious. Like,
No, not really. Just get out.
Shut up. I'm dead serious. I really don't care so much for this match. The only thing that I would be interested to see is whether or not Ziggler wins or lose, because I think that would affect the chances of him cashing in his WrestleMania briefcase. If he wins the tag team titles, I don't think he's going to cash in. If he doesn't, then there's still a chance that he could cash in.
Okay. This whole feud was just thrown together. I don't care at all about the actual feud.
What's your anticipation level?
2?
2? Alright, 2. You're a low grader.
Well, give me something to work with and I'll...
Alright.
See, because, there's so many different ways you can go. I could, I just mentioned one prediction right there. I could also see, since we don't know what Big E can do, he might do something that pisses off Ziggler. Maybe that cost them the match.
Mm-hmm.
And then they kind of go at it,
Yeah.
And that starts something with them too. Or, like I was saying, they could win the match, he could win the titles, and he could still go on to cash, do the
and
cash
have the tag and the world title. I really doubt that.
I doubt it's going to happen, but as much shit he's been through as far as booking wise.
Okay, I do not anticipate this match. You do not anticipate this match. But if something funny happens with AJ, like you were saying, where AJ costs D-Bry the match, and somehow Hell No implodes or whatever, that is a crazy twist that could make it interesting and make it good. You hear that, Julio?
I see what you did there.
That's one of those crazy twists that could save this particular WrestleMania match and could make WrestleMania as a whole a little bit better if something crazy happens in this match. But I don't really see anything like that happening. I just see Hell No retaining, and that was just a way to give Ziggler something to do. That way people don't think Ziggler will cash in. I think that's all this is.
It could be, yeah, you're probably right. But like I said, there's different possibilities for this particular thing.
Right.
And AJ might do something. She might do something crazy,
Right.
So, anyway.
So there's things that can happen, but I'm not anticipating them to happen, thus my anticipation level is kind of low.
Right.
Alright. Anything else you want to say about that, or let's move on?
Yeah, let's move on.
Okay. Moving on. Let's see. What else do we have on here? I think we gotta go with Ryback Mark Henry.
Okay, let's go.
Alright. Ryback versus Mark Henry. I really, really, really like Mark Henry. I've always been a Mark Henry mark. And
you? No.
Yeah, me, yes. I love the guy. I love all the stuff that he says. That's what I do. I love all the stuff that
Why
he
haven't
did.
they made that a t-shirt yet?
I know.
I'm not going to buy it, but why didn't they make it a shirt yet?
Exactly. And I kind of dig the idea that he's challenging Ryback. It's like, why are you trying to take my spot?
Yeah.
I'm the big man.
Yeah.
I'm the world's strongest man. I'm the guy to be, like, I really dig that story going there. And, when he tried to choke him with the bench press, but he didn't really touch him, so no contact.
That whole thing was stupid.
I kind of liked it that he was pushing that thing on him. I was like,
no, I mean, that was a very heel thing to do. I like that part. But the whole challenge itself
was dumb.
Stupid.
Yeah. And,
are we supposed to believe that he just made a world record out there?
Well, yeah, Guinness wasn't there, so how can that be?
Well, besides that, and then Ryback was about to beat the world record already.
Yeah, I don't know if I buy that.
Yeah, the whole thing was stupid.
But, if they said that was like a WWE record set by Paul Orndorff or something, then yeah.
Ken Patera.
Yeah. Like, I wouldn't believe that. But since it said
Look it up, kids. Ken Patera.
Yeah, since it said it was a world record, F that.
Yeah.
But I kind of dig, what happened on Raw, where, Mark Henry was telling him, you can't touch me.
Oh, yeah.
So they ain't nothing to do but smile.
Yeah.
I was like, that is freaking awesome. Like, Mark Henry's mic skills are so freaking underrated. This guy is just so good. It's so creative.
While he was injured, I don't know why they didn't have him on commentary.
Oh, I know. Like,
just being mad because he couldn't fight.
Yeah.
Because that one time he did commentary, he was mad about whoever he was mad about, and he was like just yelling at all the other commentators.
Mhm.
It was great.
Now, for me, this match is the opposite of what I think of Jericho and Fandango. With Jericho and Fandango, I think the in-ring is great, but all of the other stuff that goes along with it, maybe not so great.
Right.
With Ryback versus Mark Henry, all the build-up and all the storylines and all the stuff going along with it is awesome.
Yeah.
And the idea of the match is awesome. But I think the match itself might suck.
Oh, it's gonna suck.
Yeah.
But it's gonna be brutal. I think it's going to be physical.
I hope so. I hope it gets brutal and physical, because that's the only way you're going to cover up the fact that whenever they have a strongman guy versus another strongman guy, two big dudes, it doesn't matter how good of wrestlers they are. It's always slow and plodding, unless they like go all out and make it a brawl.
You know what I want to see in this match? Old school test of strength.
Oh, yes, I hope so.
They don't do that anymore at all. And that would be just for these two guys to do that. I think that to coin a phrase from you, I would pop.
You would pop for that one.
Yes.
That's not a phrase that I coined, sir.
I know, but you're here, you're in front of me, so that's what I'm saying.
Okay. This match, the match itself, can be horribly ruined if Ryback does not get Henry up in the shell shock. If he can't do it. If he does the same thing that he did with Tensai or with Paul Heyman, where he tries to get him up, he couldn't get him up, and they had to end the match on a meat hook. And not the shell shock. If that happens,
he's going to be booed out of that building.
Yeah. Well, I don't know if he'd be booed out of the building. It would just suck. You know, so there's a lot of potentiality for this match to not be that great. Even though I'm really anticipating it. So it's kind of like, you know, I'm kind of back and forth. I'm kind of torn there. I kind of want to say my anticipation level for it is maybe, 5. Also on this one.
Really? I thought it'd be higher for you.
It would be higher if I didn't think that the match itself was going to be bad.
That's interesting. I was going to say at least a 6 for me.
Really?
Yeah.
Interesting.
Just because I've been liking the, and for anticipation, I want to see that test of strength.
Okay. All right. You know what? That's completely fair. Who do you think's going to win?
Ryback.
I think Ryback's going to win also.
He needs it more than Henry does.
Yes, he does. I mean, Henry's had this long career of wins, losses. He's been at the bottom. He's been at the top. Ryback needs a freaking pay-per-view win to redeem himself. You know, so I think they're going to give it to Ryback. Yep. Let's move on here to another match. What are you doing?
What am I doing? I'm just eating a peep.
You're eating a peep.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Left over from Easter.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they're still good. Yeah.
Why are you eating a peep in the middle of the podcast?
Because we're good. Have you had a peep?
I've had peeps before. I've had one of these peeps before we started recording. Now we're recording. What the hell are you doing?
Hey, speaking of peeps.
Okay.
Where the F is Christian at?
Really? All of that was to set up a segue to ask what the hell happened to Christian?
Where is he?
You reached over the table, opened up a thing of peeps, started eating a peep, had a back and forth with me and you saying, why are you eating a peep? Just so that you could segue into asking about Christian.
Yeah, what's the problem? Do you want a peep?
No, I don't want a peep.
Answer my damn question. Where's Christian at?
I don't know where Christian is. Christian is MIA. I anticipate that maybe he'll be back on Raw after WrestleMania. He has no business on WrestleMania itself.
Or does he?
What's your theory?
I don't have one. I'm just messing with you. I don't know.
All that was just
No, I really want to know where Christian is. He alive? Is he still employed? I don't know.
I would hope so. You don't think he'll show at Mania? Just surprise? You say with your mouth full. All right. Can we go on with this, please?
Go ahead.
All right. This guy here. All right. Let's talk about the Shield match.
Okay.
All right. We actually have a question from a listener about that, and it's actually from Marking Out. Fellow podcasters, thank you so much for sending in your question. You can check out Marking Out on Twitter. The hashtag is @MarkingOut. Who would have guessed it? MarkinOut. You can also check out their podcast on markingout.com. They have an awesome show. They're based out of, I believe, Long Island area, so they always have interesting stuff to say, and I think they have a lot of things going on also, much like Shining Wizards, this hashtag WrestleMania week.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
So check them out as soon as you get a chance to, guys. All right, let me tell you what they asked here. They said, can you see any wrestlers aligning themselves with the Shield at Mania or on the Raw the night after?
Ooh, that's a good question.
That's a really good question.
What do you think?
I want to say no. I don't think that there's anybody on the current roster right now that will fit personality-wise in the Shield. Maybe if they bring someone up from OVW, but at that point, you're making it into like a big stable. Right now, it's just a trio. Yeah. And I think it's fine with just a trio.
Yeah, it's perfect the way they're doing it right now. I think if you add anybody to this, yeah, you're right. It becomes a stable, and then it starts getting too many heads in there. I think right now they got the right amount of personalities, or right amount of character types.
Personnel, yeah.
Yeah, in that group there.
I think that the old adage, if it ain't broke, don't fix it, applies here.
But maybe not joining the Shield, but what about heel turn?
Just somebody turning on.
Either Orton, Sheamus, or, well, it's Orton or Big Show. Because Sheamus ain't going to turn heel.
Okay.
So
you think well, that's interesting. You think Orton, swerve, Orton heel turns? Out of all of them, I think Orton will be the one to do it.
Because if you look at it these last couple weeks on SmackDown, Orton's been like the cool head. You know, he's been the peacekeeper between them. Mm-hmm. I think that might be a payoff at Mania. Mm-hmm. I think he's had enough. You know, maybe a loser match. You know, and
like I had enough just trying to control Big Show and Sheamus, trying to make them get along. F these guys, I'm gonna go do my own thing.
Yeah,
maybe.
Yeah.
I think that there's more people out there anticipating Big Show to turn, because anytime Big Show's been in a team, he's always turned on them. Remember Bragging Rights, where he was on Team SmackDown and he turned and went with Team Raw? I mean, that seems like it's always a thing with Big Show in teams.
You just named one.
Well, there's one, but I mean, there has been others. Miz and Show? Wasn't it the Miz Show?
Show Miz?
Show Miz, that's what it was. Didn't he turn on the Miz?
I can't
remember. I think in Jericho's show, Jericho turned on Big Show, right?
I don't remember
it. I just remember it happening more often than not.
Well, not talking too much about Big Show, but let me twist this question here.
Okay, twist away.
Okay. Do you think, maybe not anybody joining Shield, but do you think there might be a defect from within Shield?
Ooh, interesting.
Ambrose.
At this point, no.
Yeah.
And I don't want to see them break up quite yet. 'Cause, again, if it ain't broke, don't fix it.
But they can't be in the trio all the time. I mean, at some point, they're gonna have to split.
Yeah, because there's only, and again, this was the thing that we were talking about a couple of weeks ago, where since they are a trio, and they are a main event trio, they always have to fight against 3 other main eventers, and that just ties up so much talent.
Yeah, they're going to break them up eventually.
They have to.
Probably sooner than later.
Yeah.
Because right now they've had enough time to say who the breakout guy is and what's the strength and weaknesses.
You know
of
what? I don't know who the breakout guy is.
Really?
I really don't know. Ambrose, he's really, really good on the mic, but as far as in the ring, I'm not too sure yet. 'Cause I mean, we've only seen multiple man matches, and I don't want to say he's bad, but I don't want to say he's good. I want to say it's a question mark. With Reigns, he's the power guy.
Right.
But he's kind of okay, talking. He's not as bad as we thought he was going to be. Not as bad. I'm not saying he's great.
Yeah.
But he can hold his own. And Rollins, he's kind of a balance between the two. Every time that we see a crazy bump in the Shield's matches or a nice offensive spot, it's always him. He's the one that fell off of the ladder at TLC. He's the one that did the curb stomp onto the chair. He's the one that got beat up by all 3 of them at whatever the last match was.
Yeah.
So all 3 of them have their strengths and weaknesses. So I don't really know who the breakout guy is.
I'm not going to say strength and weaknesses. I'm going to say they all have their strengths. You just said it.
Okay.
Ambrose is a talker.
You're right.
Ambrose that's his strength.
Yes.
He'll be the guy that's just going to be causing feuds just by talking to just causing shit.
Yeah.
Rollins is the all-around worker.
Yes.
He can do in-ring work.
Yes.
And then Reigns, he's going to be like the Ryback. He's going to be
the muscle.
Yeah, and he can go on. He can have a feud with Ryback, just 1-on-1.
Yeah.
So they can all go their separate ways, and they can all have single feuds.
Mm-hmm.
No problem.
Do you think they will at Mania? That's what Mark and Out was asking us. At Mania or the Raw after, do you think that there's going to be something there where they're splitting apart?
I don't see any signs of it right now.
Okay.
So probably not.
So you want to go with a no?
Yeah, I'll say that.
I'll go with a no also. But hey, that was a great question, guys, and that actually sparked a lot of back and forth there. Mm-hmm. So it's interesting. And if it did happen, I think it would be awesome. If there was somebody that turned on the Faces side or somebody that turned on the Shield side, that would be, hey Julio, an interesting twist.
This guy over here.
Yes, there we go. Another interesting twist. Okay. Anticipation level for this match.
5.
Okay.
That's being generous for me.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay. I want to say about a 6 or 7. And it would be higher if it wasn't Big Show, Sheamus, and Orton. Yeah. The reason why I'm anticipating it as much as it is because of the Shield. Yeah. I mean, hell, when we did our year in review special, we gave the Shield match of the year for their TLC match.
Did we?
Yeah, we did. I think we did.
I think that was a candidate. I don't know if that won. That didn't win.
Did we not decide?
That was a candidate.
Oh, did we make the people decide on that? I need to go back and re-listen to that.
You don't even listen to our shows.
I don't even remember.
So
but
sad.
I just remember thinking that was a badass match.
Yes, it was a good match.
And the other match that they've had since, that's been a good match. But it's all been a good match on the Shield side. On whoever the faces are that they fight, and it's been interchangeable. Like, I don't really care about that. So it's just like, to me, even though it's like a different trio of faces, to me, it's still a rematch. It feels like a rematch.
Yeah, it's like we've seen it
Shield
before.
versus the faces.
Yeah, it's like we've seen it before.
Yeah. So that's why I don't anticipate it that much. But since it's the Shield, it might be awesome.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you so much again to the guys at Marking Out. Listen to them. Listen to their show. It's awesome. MarkingOut.com.
Quit marking out for marking out.
Okay, I'm done. Let's move on. I'm not sure which one I should go with next. Do we want to go with... Okay, well, you just pointed to the one you want to go with next. Alright, fine. Del Rio versus Jack Swagger. I was thinking Triple H Lesnar, but okay. Del Rio versus Jack Swagger. Here we go. We don't have You know what? This is kind of an odd duck. And I like it, but I don't like it. I'm very torn. So you know what? I'm gonna let you go first.
Oh, okay.
What do you think?
Well, you're not going to believe this, but I don't care about this match.
At all?
Not really. It's...
Really?
I don't want Jack Swagger to win. I really don't like Del Rio as a face. I don't like both their characters.
Really?
Yeah, really. I don't. I'm not into this feud at all.
Wow.
Yep.
Oh, okay. Well, that's the opposite of what I was thinking. What I was thinking is that I'm a little bit torn because I like the characters and I like all the storyline that's led up to it, but I just don't know how they're going to make it end.
There's just been too much BS with the whole thing. And
really?
With the whole, of course, the Swagger thing, the situation. Zeb Coulter doing pretty much all the heavy lifting on their end.
Yeah.
Swagger, he's not doing... he's a good wrestler.
He is.
That's about it. I don't see him as a champion.
Okay, well...
And I don't like Del Rio.
Well, that's the opposite of what I think. What I think is that, I think they're really, both of them are good wrestlers. Ever since Del Rio's turned face, he added more stuff to his repertoire. I've always thought that Jack Swagger was pretty good in the ring, but I never really dug his character. The last time I really dug his character was when he was the ECW champ. When he came over to SmackDown and won the World Heavyweight Championship the first time and got like super serious, like Lance Storm serious, I hated it. Cause I liked it when he was in ECW and he was like really overly cocky. Like he really tried to fit the name Swagger.
Right.
But now that there's this new character with him about the whole American thing, and yes, Zeb's been the one that's been doing all the heavy lifting, I still dig it. I don't know why. I do. I just... Maybe it's because I'm Mexican and I'm digging the story about the Mexican and the gringo that wants to do away with the Mexicans. Maybe that's why.
You're rooting for your homeboy.
Maybe that's what it is. I don't know. But I like both sides of the story. I like Ricardo, that he's still hobbling out there, even though he got his ankle, quote unquote, broken. I kind of like all the stuff that's going into this match. And I think that they can have a good match, but I just don't know what the end result will be. I mean, if Del Rio wins, yay, great. Del Rio's the champ again. If Swagger wins, oh, yay, great. He's a champ, but I mean, isn't he supposed to be getting punished here soon for the weed and the DUI?
Apparently he got fined.
He did?
But still.
And then the other X factor is Ziggler.
Right.
Depending on what happens with that tag team match, Ziggler could be cashing in. So I think that
Actually, it depends on the winner of this match.
Does it matter? I mean, if he cashes it in on either one of the guys, does it matter?
He's a heel. He would cash it in on a face.
Ideally, but he can still cash it in on the heel.
It depends on how injured they are after the match.
True. I mean, I guess we could say that.
Like, maybe Swagger puts the ankle lock on and, really F's up his ankle and he can't, walk or anything.
Well, if he really F's up Del Rio's ankle, Del Rio's not winning that match. And he won't be the champ. So when Ziggler cashes
Ricardo will do something to distract him and he'll do a roll-up or something and beat him. And
you know what? This match is another one of those matches where it has the potential of having that big, awesome twist. You hear me, Julio? This match right here has that, where something can happen with the variables on the outside of the ring with Zeb and Ricardo, and someone could get an ankle broke, someone could get an arm broke with the cross arm breaker, and then cue up Ziggler's music. Ziggler comes in, cashes in Money in the Bank, big twist. Ziggler's now the world heavyweight champion. There is that possibility, so that makes me want to anticipate it more. But I don't know.
I know you said that before that you don't see Ziggler cashing in at Mania. He's going to hold on to it.
I have said that before.
This is the first time, unless I'm mistaken, that we've actually had a Money in the Bank winner still at Mania.
Yes, you are 100% correct. It is true. This is the first time that we've had somebody still holding a briefcase at WrestleMania. Yeah. So
he could potentially steal the show.
He could. And from a logical sense, why would anybody that is Mr. Money in the Bank not want to effing cash in at the biggest show of the year? I mean, I've said that. I don't think he will. But I'm kind of hoping that he does. Yeah. And if he does, it makes sense. And why not? And it would be a big twist. And it would be awesome. And it would be something that we'll be talking about the day after. You know?
And another thing, we were just talking about, if the winner's injured or whatever, wouldn't it make it even more badass if whoever's the winner of that match is perfectly fine and Ziggler just comes out and cashes all cocky and then still beats him?
And then we have another 20-minute match?
Yeah, and then beats him, That would be effing awesome right there.
That would be effing awesome.
That would actually make me care about Ziggler again.
Yes.
That would be, I don't see it happening, but that would be awesome.
Yes. So Julio, there's your other big twist, potential big twist. Alright, anticipation level for this match. Let's throw it out there. Let's grade it. What do you think?
5.
I'm gonna go with higher because of all the variables and the things that could happen. I'm interested to see, so I'm gonna give it about 7.5.
Okay.
Alright, and what is your prediction? This will probably be the hardest one to predict. I think.
Del Rio.
Del Rio will win? No cash in?
No, I'm not predicting that. I'm just predicting the winner of this match. Del Rio.
Okay, well, do you predict that Ziggler will cash in?
Hey, who do you predict is going to win?
I predict...
Answer me all the questions.
Del Rio.
Okay.
I predict Del Rio will win.
Okay.
Alright. Do we think Ziggler will cash in? Do you think that?
I want him to.
Okay. You want him to, but do you think it'll happen?
Man, that's a lot of questions. Do I think it's going to happen? Yes.
I'll go with no.
Okay.
I don't think it'll happen. I don't know. I don't know if WWE will pull the trigger. Will actually let Ziggler steal the show.
I'm going to say yes just because it's a perfect opportunity. No one's had Money in the Bank at Mania.
Right.
Do it.
I agree with you. I want it to happen.
He has show stealer written on his fucking tights.
Yes. I want it to happen and it would be perfect, but I don't know if WWE is willing to do it. So I'm predicting no.
Well, we're going to get into what other things that WWE isn't going to be brave enough to do here in just a minute. But,
true. So, that is that. That's Del Rio Swagger. And you know what? One of us is gonna have a little bit of egg in our face on the next episode, just because of this effing match.
Yeah.
Alright, let's move on. So now do you want to do Triple H Brock Lesnar?
Yeah, sure, why not? Yeah.
Okay, Triple H Brock Lesnar, let's get to it. It is a no holds barred, Triple H's career is on the line, and we found out that HBK is gonna be there. He's gonna be ringside in Triple H's corner.
Yeah. Let's clarify. When they say Triple H's career, he did specify that it's his whole job, right? His CE or COO position.
No? I thought that, I'm just assuming that it's just his in-ring career.
I thought it was like everything.
No, I don't
Because that would make more sense.
Yeah, you might be right.
Because I know he hinted on an interview on Main Event that it's just for his in-ring career, and then it would slowly start affecting his mind, and he wouldn't be able to do his other jobs anymore. But did he say something different on Raw? Like when he's walking out and he's talking?
Oh, goddamn. I'm trying to remember specifically if anything was said about that. I think I've just been operating from under the assumption that it's just the in-ring, that he could have said something to the effect and it just flew over my head and I wasn't paying attention enough to it. Or I could have been busy tweeting or whatever and
That's
not
probably the case.
Caught it.
Yeah.
But, I think it's just his in-ring career.
Okay.
That being established, what do you think about this match itself?
I mean, it could be good as far as being a physical, hardcore match.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe not hardcore, but, just a brutal match.
Right. Well, no holds barred.
Yeah.
Almost hardcore.
There'll be a sledgehammer involved,
Mm-hmm.
I'm sure.
Well, hold on there. Does no hold barred mean that you can use weapons?
Yeah, no hold barred. Yeah, you can do anything.
No holds barred instead of saying no weapons barred.
I don't know. Sure.
I thought that's what the difference was between a hardcore match and no holds barred. Is a hardcore, you can use weapons. I thought no holds barred just means that, you could do any kind of hold, you could do any kind of thing that you want. You could have someone held up in the ropes for a 5 count, it doesn't matter. But if you hit somebody with a steel chair, it's a DQ. Am I wrong?
No, because can you get DQ'd? No, they said no DQ, no count, no holds barred. Really?
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, then what the hell's the difference between hardcore and then no holds barred? None?
I don't know. It's a different way of saying.
Well, okay, well, what's the difference between street fight?
Not.
So it's all the same. If you just said that the match was no DQ, it's just synonyms for all these other freaking matches?
They always change names on stuff.
Alright, whatever. We're getting too caught up on that. I'm getting too caught up in that.
You are.
Yeah. Alright, Lesnar Triple H. Let's just get on into the anticipation level.
Okay.
How much do you anticipate this match?
How much I anticipate? Me personally?
Yes.
Oh, 4?
4?
3?
That low? That low?
4. Yeah.
Okay. I'm gonna say a little bit more. I'm gonna say maybe about a 6.
For the anticipations match?
Yeah. I kinda don't really care if Triple H retires. So it's like, whatever.
That's why I'm not anticipating it.
Yeah, so I don't really care. I mean, I guess I should care because it's Triple H, and if he retires, oh man, that's the end of his career, whatever, but I kind of feel like Triple H has already been retired, so it's like, whatever. And if Triple H does win, well, what the hell? That didn't accomplish anything. It's just beating up on Brock Lesnar,
right,
and that's it. So I don't really care. The only thing that could be good from this match is just the actual in-ring brutality of it. When we were talking about that one Raw where they had the brawl and, Lesnar got busted open the hard way, all that was really cool. Mm-hmm. So if they were able to harness all of that stuff and put it into this match.
The physicality, yeah. Yeah,
the physicality and going into it, into, all of the, going through the table and going through the barrier and, all that kind of crazy crap. I think it would be good. It would be a brutal match I would like to see, but I don't know if we might see that, because I don't think we saw that at SummerSlam, right? SummerSlam, it was kind of a meh match. But at Extreme Rules, when it was Lesnar versus Cena, that was a great match. So, I don't know.
Yeah, it'll probably be closer to that Extreme Rules match. And I'm looking at it right now. It does say, all moves and weapons are legal.
Moves and weapons are legal?
Yeah.
Okay.
All maneuvers and weapons are fair game.
Okay.
Yep.
Cool. There you go. Thank you, Internet. All right. So, yeah, maybe we'll see a sledgehammer, and maybe we'll see Heyman running around doing something crazy. What's your prediction?
Oh, first of all, it does say Triple H must retire from in-ring competition. So it doesn't say anything
so it's
about...
not from COO and
Right, yeah.
Okay.
He has to retire as a WWE superstar.
Okay.
So he'll still be on TV. He'll still be around, just not as wrestler.
Right.
Which he was on TV last year like that too.
Right.
Anyway, what's my prediction?
What's your prediction?
Triple H.
Triple H will win?
Yeah.
I think Triple H will lose.
Okay.
I think Lesnar will win. That way, it gives more concrete of, I'm not an in-ring competitor anymore. I'm the COO.
You think it'd be the final
the
goodbye, whatever?
Yeah, it's like, hey, Sean got to retire WrestleMania.
You think this is what this is about?
Maybe.
Because he does like to follow Shawn Michaels.
Yeah, and Flair. Flair did it too.
Yeah.
So, maybe that's what it is.
Yeah. You know what? I'm thinking Lesnar's gonna win.
You changing your mind?
Yeah, I'm changing my mind.
Okay, fine. You can change your mind.
Fuck yeah, I can't. Yeah, it's our podcast. I can do whatever.
All right.
Tell me I can change my mind.
Jeez, get in.
Change my mind. I don't want to change my mind.
All right, calm down. We got 2 matches left. Which one do you want to talk about last, and which one do you want to talk about now?
I'll let you decide on that one.
Okay. Let's talk about Rock Cena first. Okay. Rock Cena. We have a listener question about Rock Cena. That is from, my friend Donovan. It was from his Facebook account, so Dono Johnson on there. So thank you so much for sending in your question. And your question reads as thus. We all know saying heel turn and Cena in the same sentence is laughable at this point. But given the way the story has been unfolding, what are the chances of a WrestleMania 17 type mid-match turn by Cena? And or do you think Cena will do whatever it takes to beat The Rock, even if it means breaking the rules a little? I would also ask a question about Punk Taker, but let's face it, the streak's not ending, LOL. Thanks for the question there, Donovan. Thanks for the little add-on there with the Punk Taker. That was pretty funny.
We'll get that here in just a minute. But,
yeah, we'll get to that. Cena heel turn. Laughable at this point. I'm glad that he worded it that way. But at the same time, WrestleMania 17.
Even you know what?
Stone Cold turning, making the deal with the devil, whatever.
Okay. Even before this past week on Raw, when Cena was talking, and he's expecting, you'll see something you won't forget, or whatever he was saying, I don't know. Just his mannerisms were a little bit different, I thought. Small nuances that he, when the fans were just helping him, booing him left and right. Mm-hmm. The way he would pause, and he would just have a different type of smirk on his face, like, alright,
Yeah.
That's how you're gonna treat me, right? Okay.
Yeah.
He had that type of attitude.
Okay.
It wasn't much. He was very subtle, but I could be totally wrong. This is what I'm thinking. It's not out of the possibility of a heel turn.
Okay. You know what? I think a few months ago, I would have thought, there ain't no way in hell. But right now, because of the way that it has been building up, it seems a little bit familiar and a little bit similar to WrestleMania 17, or excuse me, X7.
I need this Rock.
Yeah.
I need this win.
Yeah.
That was Stone Cold saying that.
Yeah, it was. So, it could be a little bit of history repeating. But I still have to say no. Like, now it's not like a, hell no, you're crazy. Now it's like a, well, it could happen, but still no. And here's why. Vince never wanted to turn Hogan heel because of the money. Mm-hmm. Bischoff did it because, Bischoff was gonna make money in a different way.
Right.
So he had the opportunity to do it. Vince, I don't think he has the opportunity to do it. If he were to turn Cena heel, he would lose so much money. It's not a good business decision to turn Cena heel. It's a good wrestling decision. And I think Steve DeMarco even said something about that. Like, business decisions and wrestling decisions are different. It's a great wrestling decision. Mm-hmm. It would make for, all of us IWC fans happy. It would, just change up a lot of storylines, shake things up, do something new. But, man, there's gonna be so much revenue that's lost.
No. Let me stop you there.
Okay.
You said it would shake things up. It would do all this other thing. Wouldn't that make money?
Yes and
Wouldn't
no.
that bring in more viewers and buyers and everything else?
Yeah, but I mean...
Think about just because he's a heel doesn't mean they won't sell shirts. Think of all the
Kids
people.
won't buy his shirts no more.
Okay, okay, what about the rest of the adults?
We might, but I mean, the same people that would buy his merch if he were to turn heel are the same people that buy, the CM Punk stuff and the Shield stuff. And yes, CM Punk sells out of a bunch of shirts, but with the adults, man, we don't have as much money and we're not as willing to spend on frivolous stuff as kids are. Kids will bug the hell out of parents like, I want this. Okay, we'll buy it for you. But like a dude like me or you, I'll buy a shirt every now and again. If I had a choice between, oh man, Cena just turned heel, do I want the new Cena shirt? Or, hey, Punk just came out with a new shirt, do I want the new Punk shirt? I'm not gonna get both, I'm just gonna get one. If I have the money to fucking spend money on shirts. So I don't know. I don't think so. I really don't think so. I don't think, and especially looking at it through the eyes of Vince, and not looking at it from a logical standpoint like, oh, well, people will still buy this stuff. Looking at it through the eyes of Vince. Vince never wanted to turn Hogan heel. He never wanted to do it. And Cena is Vince's Hogan. It's his shot at making Hogan all over again. And he's not going to make what in his mind is the same mistake twice.
Wow. I had no idea you were so close to Vince. to know what he's afraid to do, and I didn't know he consulted with you on that. So,
okay. So we're gonna go there.
I'm sorry, but
You know what? You're right. You're 100% right. I could just be projecting my thoughts of what Vince is onto Vince. So,
right.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
Man, if it happens though, God, that'd be crazy. You know what?
Crazy work sometimes.
That'd be a twist. Mm-hmm. That'd be a crazy twist that will make WrestleMania great.
That's the only thing, but there's so many, not teases, but, just little things that he was saying during that promo. Even talking about being just being kind of petty about his title.
Yeah.
That was a very heelish thing to do.
Like all that stuff that he was saying about it being The Rock's title. Well,
excuse me, Cena, didn't you have your own title?
Yeah, you had your own title, and everyone else held on to your own title. Yeah. And now you're going to be
That's what I'm saying. That's such a petty heel thing to say. Yeah.
And you know what? This was funny. I even tweeted this. I was digging that promo by Cena. I thought that was a great job that Cena was doing with that promo. And what was really hilarious about it is like, the time that Cena's actually doing a good effing promo, that's when everybody in the arena is finally an arena that's anti-Cena and vocal and chanting boring. It's like, of all the times, like you could have been chanting boring, when he was actually having a boring promo.
If that played into what they were trying to do, what I was saying, he had a very subtle, when fans were really just giving him a hard time. He was just kind of giving him a look. Like, so maybe they're hoping for that reaction.
Maybe.
So that he could kind of pause and give it a little longer, look of disdain, I guess. I don't know. But, this last promo, from Cena has made me anticipate this match a little bit more.
Okay.
And, well, I want to say two things. First.
Go ahead.
Rock's promo on Raw sucked ass.
Yeah, it kind of did. It felt
it felt like Cena wants his match. Like, he's, like, dying for this match.
Like, he sold it.
Rock is like, well, I have a match on Sunday. Hey, we're in Washington, D.C. I'm gonna run for president.
Yeah, like,
it's
all
like,
that shit was so hokey.
Yeah, this was the final show. To go home, before the Mania.
Yeah.
And that's what you're gonna do?
Like, joke about being president?
I've had my issues with The Rock for a while now. Mm-hmm. This has been like over the top for me. I mean, it's like obviously he's there for a paycheck.
Yeah, and I mean that's so sad because the Raw after WrestleMania last year when he was talking about, well, you know what? Not even that. Before then, like when he finally made his comeback or something before WrestleMania 2 years ago, when he was like, finally, The Rock has come back home.
Yeah.
And it was like, oh man, he's gonna be who he was, and he's gonna be here, and he's gonna be constant. And he hasn't been here constant. He hasn't been who he was, and there's just so much stuff that he hasn't lived up to, and he hasn't done, and it breaks my heart because I love The Rock.
Right.
He was one of my favorites in the Attitude Era. You know? I mean, I liked him more than I liked Stone Cold.
Just the way he comes off now, just me personally, not wrestling side, but just the way I feel about Dwayne Johnson is just, I don't like the way he comes off anywhere anymore. He's like so too not goody-goody, but he's always got the smile on his face. Like a Rocky Maivia first debuted, and he's always smiling. That's what I think. That's what I think of him now. He's like always smiling.
You think he's just too Hollywood now?
Yes, I think I do. And speaking of that,
okay,
I was watching some old footage the other day. I want Hollywood Rock back. I wanted to heel Hollywood
WrestleMania
Rock.
20 Hollywood Rock. You mean
19? Yeah,
or whatever.
yeah, WrestleMania 19 Rock. I want that Rock back.
Yeah,
when he was Hollywood Rock.
Yeah,
and he was like so over the top, but he's a heel back. I thought that was a more honest.
Like,
honest.
I come back and you want to boo me? Fine, boo me, and then you know.
But people's not booing him now, but people are actually eating the shit up. But to me, I don't know. It's just the small little things, Yeah. He's got 4 million followers on Twitter. You can't follow one. Stuff like that. He's always got his own thing. He's always taking pictures of this and that. I don't know. I'm being very petty. I know it's. But anyway, that's a side point.
What's your anticipation level?
Say 7 or 8, somewhere there.
That high?
Yeah.
Okay. I'm torn on what number I want to put this at.
Cena actually sold it for me a lot on this past week.
Yeah. And, man, I really don't know, because I don't want to base my anticipation level on the possibility that Cena will turn heel, because I don't think he'll turn heel.
I'm not basing it just on that. I'm just saying.
Okay. Well, I know you're not, but I'm just saying for me.
Okay.
All that stuff aside, like.
The match itself.
Yeah, the match itself. Don't get me wrong. I think the match itself, the in-ring stuff will be good. Not because it'll be a technical spectacle or a technical marvel or clinic or anything.
Yeah.
But I think that there's a potentiality of having so much emotion going into that match that I think the match itself will be pretty good. But the story, the politics behind it, what's going to happen, is Rock still going to be around? And, I remember this from back in the day when Cena was on his big long streak where he was beating everybody. Mm-hmm. I remember the mantra that me and my friends had at the time was, well, anybody but Cena. Like, we would cheer for anyone that was fighting Cena. Like, we didn't care if it was Umaga. Oh, Umaga's fighting Cena? We're cheering Umaga. Oh, Batista? Well, we hate Batista, but he's fighting Cena. We're cheering for Batista. Like, anybody but Cena. And there's still a little bit of that inside me where I want to be like, anybody but Cena. Wait, what that means is I have to cheer for a part-time Rock that probably won't be here, who's not like the Rock he used to be. I don't know. Do I want to see the WWE Championship on a full-timer or a part-timer? So I'm torn, man. I'm so torn. And I don't think that this match is intended for us, for the IWC, for guys like me. I think it's intended for the rest of the casual viewers and the old viewers and things
it's to bring in more viewers. Yeah,
it'll bring in more viewers, but it's not for us.
Right.
Well,
we ought to watch, so
I mean, yeah, we're watching for other reasons. But, I don't know. There's the potential for twists. Again, Julio. There's potential for twists. There's, the heel turn, by Cena. There's a heel turn by Rock, which could happen. Who knows?
I doubt it. To me, that's even more unlikely than a Cena turn.
Right. I guess it kind of all depends on what the crowd in New York and New Jersey does.
Ooh, no,
they might be able to turn who they want to turn. I mean, we don't know how that crowd's going to react because it's New York. Yeah. They're crazy, but it's Mania, so it's not all New Yorkers that are there.
Right,
so who knows? Yeah. So I think that if you would have asked me before WrestleMania 18 who's going to be the heel, who's going to be the face in Hogan versus Cena, it would have been a lot different of an answer that you would have got from what actually happened. Yeah. The people in Toronto turned The Rock heel and they turned Hogan face. The people in Toronto did that, not WWE.
Right.
So, man, I don't know. There's so many things that can happen, but then again, it's Cena. Either way, I'm kind of invested in it, even though I kind of don't want to see anything happen. So, you know what? Maybe my anticipation level is kind of high. Maybe I'll say it's about a 7.
Yeah. So
okay.
We agree on something.
There we go. 7. Who do you think's going to win? Prediction. Prediction!
Fuck it. Cena.
I think Cena is going to win too, because I think The Rock's not going to be around after Mania.
At this point, it would make sense for Cena to win, storyline-wise.
Yeah.
I think it would.
And I really don't want to say this, and I really don't want to be talking about this, but it's going to set up the rubber match for WrestleMania 30.
Let's not go that far yet.
Okay.
I'm not really, I don't want, no. I refuse.
Well, that's what I'm going to say. Cena's going to win. That way it's one one for Rock, one for Cena, WrestleMania
They wouldn't do
30,
that 3 years in a row.
tiebreaker. Yeah, you know what? They just might.
I don't think they would.
Well, we'll talk about it on our second annual Houston Wrestling Radio WrestleMania Spectacular.
All right. Is that all you had for that match?
I don't know. Is it?
I just wanted to throw out one little thing here.
Go ahead.
When this match was announced, everybody, including you, were bitching and moaning about...
Twice in a lifetime,
Right.
yes.
Let me just throw this out there.
Okay.
Last year's WrestleMania.
Mm-hmm.
The tagline, once in a lifetime.
Right.
Right? WWE got you.
Why? Oh, they worked this?
Last year's WrestleMania,
Mm-hmm.
April 1st.
Oh, here we go. It was all an April Fool's
It was
thing?
all on April Fool's Day,
Once
my
in a
friend.
lifetime, April Fool's. Get out of here.
Hey, I think that's a more logical explanation. But anyway,
All right.
Yeah,
Are you done?
I'm done.
Okay. Donovan, thank you so much for sending in the question. Dude, I haven't hung out with you in forever. We need to hang out sometime. We used to actually work together, me and this guy. He was a cool dude, so.
Then he got to know you, didn't want to hang out with you anymore.
Yeah, exactly. So.
I'm stuck with you, so.
Donovan, thanks so much for sending in the question, bro. We got one match left. Punk versus The Undertaker. Wow. Oh man, this is going to be kind of hard to talk about because we have been saying for a long time that we didn't want this match to happen.
Uh-huh.
And here we are.
Uh-huh.
And we gotta judge whether or not we want to see this happen, throw out our anticipation levels, see what's gonna happen, what do we think about it, and it feels kind of important right now, and after what happened at last night's Raw, ooh, there's some stuff going down with this feud here, and...
At this point, I think Undertaker's gonna come out to Mark Henry's music.
Somebody gonna get their ass kicked. Yeah. Man, dude, Again, I'm torn on this, man. I don't want to see either guy lose.
Well,
before it was booked, I said I didn't want to see the match happen, but now that it's happening, I don't want to see either guy lose. But after talking to DeMarco and after seeing all the stuff that's been going on this past week, I think I know who I want to win.
I know I want to win.
Yeah. I want Punk to win.
Yeah.
You want Punk to win too?
Right.
Okay.
I want the streak to end.
Yeah. I want Punk to win, but I don't want the streak to end. And that's crazy because, like, how can you want Punk to win and Taker not win? So it's really hard. But one thing that DeMarco said last week when he was on the show, I said...
One thing?
Well, one of the things they said
Jeez.
was... Shut up. DeMarco, thanks for coming on our show. Don't pay any attention to this asshole over here. One thing that he said is that nothing in wrestling is sacred.
Right.
And maybe we are putting a little bit too much sanctity on the streak.
It is a fixed match.
It is, yeah, it is.
It's not like a legitimate streak. It's like,
Right.
It's determined.
Yeah. So, I don't know. I mean, all the stuff that DeMarco was saying and people on the internet are saying and all
Don't
this and
listen
that. If Punk were to win, how freaking awesome would that be? How much bigger of a push can you give a guy? Like, this guy is freaking made after the record-breaking, title reign, and now beating The Undertaker. That's what happens when we talk about The Undertaker. Beating The Undertaker at WrestleMania. Beating the streak. Ending the streak. And after doing all the stupid, crazy crap he's been doing over the past few weeks, disrespecting the urn, disrespecting Paul Bearer, beating up on Kane, beating up on Taker himself a little bit, well, trying to anyway. Like, oh my god, Punk has been dominating, and it would be so freaking cool and freaking awesome if he wins. I want to see what happens now.
But is WWE brave enough to do that?
That is the question
And
right there.
going with past, we know patterns when we see them.
Yeah.
The show before the pay-per-view, whoever gets the upper hand
Right.
usually loses.
Right.
Which in this case would be Punk. Because he definitely got the upper hand on Raw.
Yes, he did. Yes, he did.
Speaking of Raw, what did you think of that? Were you offended?
I wasn't offended. When it happened, I laughed my ass off.
Yeah.
And then I was like, oh wait, I'm I'm pretty sick guy to be laughing at this.
But why?
Well, because it's like, oh, this dude's ashes, and he's pointing out the ashes, whatever. So,
But whose ashes do you think that is?
Well, I think they're trying to imply that it's Paul Bear's.
No.
Okay.
That was Paul Bear's urn that he always carried with him.
Right. Whose ashes did it have in there?
Right, exactly. It's been the same.
We've never known.
Right, exactly. So why is everybody getting offended by that?
Well, I'm not saying that I was offended, so don't get defensive at me.
Right, I know. I'm just saying I see a lot of people getting offended by that.
Right. But, well, let me finish what I was saying. My initial reaction was that I laughed, and then I thought, oh wait, people are going to think that this is a big offensive thing. I thought along the same lines of all the stuff you just said, where, well, I think they're trying to imply that it's Paul Bear's, but it's not Paul Bear's. It's the urn he carried around with somebody else's ashes in it. We never knew whose ashes
that was
in
the
there.
Power of the Undertaker in that urn.
Yeah.
It was never Paul Bear. It was supposed to be in that urn. It was kind of bad that Paul Heyman came out dressed as Paul Bear.
Yes.
But then again, that's a character, not a person.
Right.
You know? So I wasn't offended. You know, I've been offended maybe twice in wrestling. Mm-hmm. One of them was after Eddie Guerrero died and Randy Orton was saying that he's in hell. That offended me. I was like, okay,
that was pretty bad.
That was pretty bad. The other one was, during, I think it was something, it was during Michael Cole's heel thing, which that whole thing offended me. But,
but for different reasons.
Yeah, for different reasons. It was when he was going after, Lawler, and Lawler's mom just passed away.
And he said something about Lawler's mom.
Yeah, that was, you don't talk about someone's mom. I'm sorry, that's just...
Yeah, come on now.
Yeah. But those are the only two times I've really been offended in wrestling.
Okay.
This didn't bother me. This is so over the top. It's like, it's funny.
Yeah, I thought it was funny. It felt like an old school thing. Like if something happened in Undertaker's early career, like if that was Mr. Fuji that did that during his feud with Yokozuna. Yeah. Like, oh man, Mr. Fuji got the urn and he spread out the ashes. Yeah. Oh god. Like it felt like a real throwback. Right. And that's something Punk is great at. He's great at bringing in the old school, and I think that's cool. And I think this whole thing has been cool. Now that leads me into this. All this stuff about all the awesome things Punk did and what could happen if Punk wins and how awesome that would be. Bringing all that back around, I still don't think it's going to happen. I still don't think WWE will have the balls to do it. And DeMarco said it's not the WWE's call, it's the Undertaker's call. Well, you might be right, but at the same time,
Vince has the final say, yeah.
Vince does have the final say. I mean, I'm sure Taker has stroke, and if anybody in the back has more stroke than anybody else, it's Taker.
Right.
But at the same time, Vince might
you're saying Taker's gonna win, right?
I'm saying I think Taker will win. I want Punk to win.
What's your prediction?
My prediction, Taker will win. 21-0.
Just to bounce off you so one of us will be wrong, I'm gonna say CM Punk's gonna win.
Okay, that's fine.
I'm saying CM Punk's gonna break the streak and we're gonna see a different change after WrestleMania.
And if Punk wins, oh my god, Julio, that will be the biggest effing twist of WrestleMania.
I want to see reactions.
Yes.
I want to see the internet blow up, literally.
Yes.
Because it will happen.
Yes. Jericho invented that.
Yeah.
Yeah. He invented that when he also invented the streak, and he put like a little algorithm in there that if the streak ends, the internet blows up.
Yeah, I heard about that. Yeah.
Jericho did that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's in his book. Yeah.
Anyway, so we just said our predictions. What's our anticipation level?
For this match?
Yes. Ooh.
9.
9? Okay, I'm gonna go with 9 also. And that's funny.
Compared to my other...
Compared to, what was it, 6 weeks ago, 6 podcasts ago, we were like, we don't want this match to happen at all. From us going from there to here, if you're a long-time listener, if you've been listening to all our shows, I think it'd be very interesting, even for us to maybe go back and listen and see the progression of our opinion on this match. I think that says a lot about Punk, and of course, a little bit about Taker too, but Punk's been the one that's really been driving this, this storyline.
I'm anticipating, due to my hope, that I'm right.
That Punk will win.
And not because Punk is gonna win, or will win, but Because what'll happen storyline-wise.
Yeah.
I want to see what they're going to do. I want to see, like I said, I want to see reactions. I want to see what would happen if
How the hell are you going to top CM Punk taking the urn and spreading the ashes all over the Undertaker and rubbing it all over his chest? How are you going to top that?
And see, they won't. And that's why Undertaker's going to get his vindication or whatever at Mania. Because that way it won't be for nothing.
Now, going back to the thing that happened on Raw with him opening up the urn and pouring it out. One thing that I thought that they could have done, I'm not saying that they should have, but it's just a funny thought that I had in my head. One thing that they could have done is, remember when Paul Bearer at some point opened up the urn and it was just this big beam of light coming out?
Right, you're SummerSlam when it was Undertaker versus Undertaker. Yeah.
Right. I thought it would have been funny if he would have opened it up and there was that big beam of light coming out and Punk reaches in there and unscrews a light bulb and just pulls out a light bulb and says, "This is the power of the Undertaker. It's just a light bulb." And he smashed it on the ground. Like, I thought that would have been hilarious.
I can see him doing that too.
Yeah, and I think that would be less quote unquote controversial and quote unquote offensive if it was just like a light bulb. Like, oh man, it's ashes. People are freaking out. It's like, well, if it was a light bulb, we probably still would have got the same effect. Like CM Punk disrespecting the Undertaker.
They might have done that. Yeah, they might have done that if that wasn't just like a 1 or 2 off thing.
Yeah,
you know.
I just think it would have been funny.
Yeah.
Like, I would have been
because the whole time that's been Punk's thing. He's like, he doesn't believe in that shit. It's just a guy, you know, whatever. He doesn't care about all that, you know, whatever stuff.
All that hocus pocus mumbo jumbo.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, we have one more fan question to get to, and we have one more other question that I want to get to.
Before we do that, what's your do we have anticipation for the pay-per-view in general?
That's the thing that I wanted to do.
Right.
What is our anticipation level for everything, for WrestleMania total?
Just for the overall spectacle of the show and all the matches, 7.
7?
Yeah.
Okay. I think that if someone out there, and there might be a listener that's OCD enough to do this, I think if you were to take all of our numbers and average out the thing of what our anticipation levels were for the matches, I think it would be lower than what it collectively is what we're going to collectively say. I'm going to say it's an 8 for me.
Okay.
I'm looking forward to it. I'm not like, oh my god, 10 or 9. Oh my god, I'm really, really looking forward to it. It's an 8. I'm mildly looking forward to it. Like, it's WrestleMania week. I'm a freaking mark. I love wrestling. I've been into wrestling all my life. How can I not get excited for WrestleMania week?
It's possible.
You know?
They've been bad WrestleManias.
That's true. WrestleMania 7? Or, well, which one was the one where it was Hogan and Slaughter?
No, 7.
Yeah, 7.
You like that one? I like that one.
I didn't like that one. That was,
Who asked you, anyways?
I did. Anyway, yeah. Overall, I'm thinking an 8, you know? But most of my matches were around the 6 or 7 range of anticipation level, so I think that's interesting. But still, maybe it's just because it's WrestleMania. You know?
That's what I'm saying. That's why mine was a little bit higher. You know, if you were just going on my scores, I did like a lot of like low scores.
Shitting all over everything, yeah.
But the overall presentation and the spectacle of the pay-per-view itself.
You know, if just 1 or 2 of those awesome twists happen, that will make the whole show.
Right.
If just 1 or 2 of them happen. Like,
those last 2 matches, the Punk Taker and the Rock Cena, I give those high expectations. You know, anticipating those, you know. But everything else was kind of...
If we had the crazy Cena heel turn and nothing else, that'd be awesome.
Right.
If we had Punk breaking the streak and nothing else, that'd be awesome.
Which I think it's going to be like that. I don't think it's going to be both.
Yeah. If we had Ziggler cashing in and that's it, that'd be awesome. You know, if we had a funny thing with AJ and something else on the lower card, you know, they will probably take 2 of those. It'd be awesome. So there's a lot of things that can happen. Good twists that can happen that can make this WrestleMania great. It's just whether or not WWE will capitalize on all these opportunities.
Yeah.
Okay. Overall prediction for WrestleMania. As far as, I mean, this is our anticipation level.
Right.
What do we predict? Do we predict it's going to be a good show? Or do we predict it's going to be a bad show?
Talking about prediction. In the middle? I don't know. I can't say it's going to be good or bad. I don't know. Good?
Think it'll be good?
Sure.
Okay. I'm predicting that I will be somewhat satisfied. Alright. That's enough of that. Are we done?
I'm done.
Okay, we're done. Like I said, I have one last viewer question, or listener question, whatever you want to call it. And this is off of Twitter. at FTW Podcast. Fellow podcasters, check them out. And this is what he asks. What do you think will be the worst match of the night? All right, let's get out the notes.
The worst match.
I have one. Can I throw it out there?
Go ahead.
Ryback versus Mark Henry.
The worst in-ring match?
Yes. Yeah. If they cannot pull off the shell shock, and if they cannot pull off a nice hard-hitting match, and it's just a slow big man match, then it's just going to be terrible. Even though I love Mark Henry, and I know Mark Henry can do some pretty good things in the ring, and he could do a lot of good trash talking. If he has an off night, if he's rusty because he hasn't been wrestling a lot, and if Ryback can't get him up, it has the potential of being the worst match of the night.
True. I want to say Miz Barrett, but that's pre-show, so I'm not going to count that.
You're not going to count it just because it's on the pre-show?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm probably going to agree with you on that, Ryback versus Mark Henry. Yeah, I like the build-up. I like the idea of them fighting, but yeah, if they don't do a test of strength, that's
that'll disappoint you?
Yeah.
There's no test of strength?
Because all these other matches, if it wasn't Ryback, Mark Henry, I'm going to say Tons of Funk, Funkadactyls versus Road Scholars and Bellas.
Well, I doubt that you would say something like that about a match that the Bellas are involved in, with how in love you are with the Bellas.
Whoa, I never said anything about the in-ring ability. I just said I like the Bellas. I said nothing about I like them because they're the way they wrestle.
Oh, I see.
It's everything else. The whole package, my friend.
Yes, okay.
But, these other matches, hell no, we got Daniel Bryan, we got Dolph Ziggler, so, Big E and Kane can just be there. Jericho, Fandango. Jericho, we know, can have good matches with pretty much anybody now. Del Rio, Swagger,
What about, Lesnar and Triple H? That has the potential of being a bad match. It could be really good or it could be really bad.
Yeah, it'd be kind of cool if, I don't know, Shawn Michaels brings out a crossbow, tries to shoot Brock Lesnar. He hunts.
I don't think that'll happen.
Hey, you never know.
Yeah.
Well, it's not gonna happen. So, yeah, that could be a bad match, but, as long as they don't try to break an arm, let's not try that goofy shit, okay? Yeah. Let's just beat the crap out of each other, okay?
Okay, so spit it out. What do you think will be the worst match of the night?
You know what? You went with Ryback. I'm gonna go with the Tons of Funk Road Scholar match.
Okay, cool. There we go. Thank you so much, FTW Podcast, for sending in that question. I very much appreciate it, sir. And listeners, go check out their show. They got a good show. They have a kind of like a big round table type of style. They have like a good 3 or 4 people talking on their show, where it's one guy moderating and he's like, okay, well, this is the question. What do you think? Okay, guy number 2, what are you thinking? Like some over here in the States, one's over in the UK. It's interesting getting all these different perspectives. So they have a good show. Check them out. All right. I want to take that question and mirror it. Let's flip it. What will be the best match of the night?
Ooh, the best match.
Mm-hmm. This one's tough. I mean, we could say Punk Taker.
I'm saying Punk Taker.
Okay. You know what? F it. Punk Taker. I'm gonna agree with you. I think that
the only variable on that is Undertaker's been out for so long.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah.
I'm not counting that little house show he did. I'm not even counting that. I'm just saying we have not seen him on TV. We have not seen him fight since WrestleMania.
Yeah.
And he wasn't looking so good after that either.
Well, even then, a tag team house show match isn't enough to shake off all the ring rust. Yeah. And that's the only reason why I was hesitant to immediately go to that. That's why I was like, well, here, hang on, let me look at the rest of the card first.
But I have faith in him to pull it off at WrestleMania.
Okay.
If there's any show of the year that he's gonna do he's gonna pull all out stops, it's gonna be Mania.
It's gonna be Mania.
Yeah.
Alright. Anything else that we want to add before we wrap this thing on up?
Nothing I can think of. Just looking forward to the show.
Alright. I already sent out all of my, shout outs and, what have you. So we did that at the beginning of the show so that we could just get onto it. So you know what, guys? I think we're done. Next week, it's gonna be talking about what happened at Mania, but we'll probably get back to a regular format where we're talking about the weekly shows and we're talking about Impact and all this that. Unless a bunch of Julio's crazy twists happened and everything was crazy at Mania, then we might only talk about Mania.
It might even be Mania, it might be Raw.
Yeah.
That's happened a lot too.
Yeah, it's possible. Yeah. So we're going to try to just get back to the regular format. Now, that's our show. Thank you so much for listening to us. If you like our show, tell your friends, man. Spread the word around about Houston Wrestling Radio. We like to just get our show to be a little bit bigger and just try to reach as many people as possible. I think that we put on a quality show. I hope you guys think that we put on a quality show too. And never feel afraid to contact us on our Twitter, which is at HWrestlingRadio, or on Facebook, facebook.com/Houston Wrestling Radio. Thanks so much for listening, guys. We'll see you next week. Adios, my friends. Keep it classy.